Okay, so today we're going to be doing our final demos. Volha's going to be running us through those, and then we're also going to be having our final retro at the end. So the main event is your demo of all the hard work you've been doing. So I'm going to hand it over to Volha to get us started with that.
All right, let's get started. So this week we had two pairs, Nuri and Patrick, Mira and Caitlin. Although everyone worked on perfecting the app together, and I really admire all the work you put in and how many pull requests you opened in a very short Thanksgiving week. So bravo to you. And let's start with the demos. Who wants to kick us off?
I don't know, maybe I should start. I prepared little presentation about our application. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
And Nuria, maybe like as you're presenting, we can jump in with like the other pieces to talk about to go further in. Does that make sense? For Pat and Mira? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Here is our presentation for Smart Shopping List application presented by our nice, beautiful, and very dedicated team. Our mentors is Caitlin, George, and Volha. We very appreciate. And developers Mira, Caitlin, Patrick, and me, Nuria. So our Smart Shopping List app is not your average shopping list. It learns and helps you to remember what you need to buy on your next shopping trip to the store. Here's our welcome page. Our tech stack contains like front end we built in React, and styling was used by Tailwind CSS. And maybe Patrick wanna add some or later. And backend we did Node.js and our database in Firebase. Here's our application is fully responsive from desktop to mobile, and also was designed with a concept to web accessibility and ADA compliance. And how does it work? User can enter the item name, and depends how soon he would like to buy and add item. Here's a list displayed, and it's and also all the lists are stored in the Firebase database and accessible from any device, and user can create any number of list and share with the friends or loved ones, or access from different device by entering 3-word token. And here's our list. Also, user can search item by typing in the search box and will pop up here. And also user can delete the item that no longer needed to keep the list tidy. And also items is displayed by soon, kind of, so not soon, overdue, or purchased. Here our demo. And I don't know if my teammates want to jump in.
Yeah, I'll jump in here and I'll go.
Should I stop sharing my?
Yeah, I'll share my screen here because I'll start it from fresh. So I'm going to demo it as if I'm a brand new user. Our target audience is groups and organizations that are setting up various different community food programs. So our like user study is that I work at a school and I am responsible for the snack program, breakfast lunch program there. So I want to make a new list that I'm going to share with the admin and with the other teachers that are responsible for keeping track of the stock, for doing the purchasing, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to create a new list and it gives me my token here, which will be what I'll share with my teammates so that they can access it. And then I want to add my first item. So I know that we go through a huge amount of crackers. And so I want to purchase that soon in 7 days. So I can add my item. I know that we don't go through as many apples. So I'm going to say, okay, probably every 2 weeks we'll get the apples. And I know that we need plastic bags, like the Ziploc bags, but we don't necessarily, we can buy them in bulk. And so I'm going to say every 30 days and add the item. And then I can go and I can look at my inventory and I can see my crackers, my apples, and my plastic bags. I can click on crackers to show we ran out and grab them. And so then they become under purchased. If I'm wondering like, oh, when was I supposed to buy plastic bags? I can search for my plastic bags and it will filter everything else away so that you can just see plastic bags. I'm not sure if you want me to do the Firestore backend to show what it looks like in the database as well. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Give me uno momento because I had to open this in Safari because for whatever reason it would not load in Chrome. So, but yeah, were there any questions about the main functionality of the app?
Well, like Caitlin said in the chat, I love that you're demoing it with this kind of specific use case in mind. Like no one's ever done that in the 3 years of Collab Lab. It makes it very concrete, kind of how it could be useful. So nice
Oh,
stuff.
great. There's a few things that definitely I like are still on the list of like what we could add on to improve it. I think definitely one of the pieces is on the add an item to your inventory. It would be nice to have a button where you could say like go to your inventory, and that way you don't have to click on the icon up top. I know that's definitely something on my list. Okay, this might be a disaster actually, so maybe I'll let one of the other teammates do this because I don't remember. I don't even have my Bitwarden on Safari, so I don't even have my passwords. Okay, so I'll leave the Firestore for someone who can accurately access it. gotta love tech breakdown. But yeah, the other thing that hasn't shown up here in this specific use case is that if there is an item that has been on the list but hasn't been purchased recently, then there is another category that will show up that says inactive. So you can still see things that you've purchased in the past that maybe you haven't had to purchase in a really long time. So maybe all winter long you were doing carrot soup and now it's summer and nobody wants carrot soup. And so carrots are on the list, but they're inactive. But when winter rolls around again and carrot soup comes back on the menu, then you can, once you click on it, then it will bring it back into the soon, not soon purchased categories, which is helpful.
Can someone share the screen? I'm on phone, so I can't show the code.
Do you need like something specific or Firebase?
The list item in the Firebase JS maybe.
Okay. List item or list?
I think list item. Yeah, one of the biggest challenges that we faced while developing this app was that the item checked, whether the item is checked or not or purchased, was not showing properly. So we had to come up with a clever way of doing it. And also, while passing on the date purchase to the Firebase, we were just in the first issue, we just passed on the is checked property, and that was causing a lot of problems for us uh, while while calculating the day while calculating the dates. So um, with the help of our mentors, we figured out that we had to pass the whole object in order for it to work. And then, can you go to Firebase, Patrick, please? Yeah, here in the update item, we had to pass the whole object in order to calculate the dates, and because we had problems calculating the date into milliseconds or in a conversion where it was not a timestamp. So what our solution was, we passed the whole object and then we calculated the date, and then we set all the necessary properties that we are passing in from the list item over here so that it updates properly in the Firebase database. The other issue we encountered was while listing out sorting the data and listing out the urgency items. Scroll down, Pratik. So here when we started looking at this issue, we were filtering all the items, and then while filtering, also we had to just give it a title like kind of soon, not soon, and soon and purchase. So for that, there was an issue where when we were doing the filtering, we didn't have any idea. Like we tried many ways to do it, but then again, the mentors helped us a lot in figuring us out and guiding us. So we created a sub list, and we had to get we had to sort it out. We were sorting out, and then we we had to make another property called items.urgency, and then pass it on. And can you go to the sub list? Yeah, we had to pass it on here as a whole object and get the value and the key, and then figure out the title so that the title is displayed under each the title displays and all the items under the category displays here. That's the issue we faced this week.
And I can go over like the styling, if it would load. I don't know why it's not here.
Is it maybe zoomed in or out a lot?
No, it's just blank.
Oh.
This is what
The
was
joys.
happening to me on Chrome every time I tried to load our live site. And I was like, of course, today of all days.
Yeah.
It's inevitable with a live demo.
I can share my screen with Figma if it would
Yeah,
help.
maybe do
I'm
that.
also
Thank
just
you.
trying to-
Good teamwork.
I will maybe while we're trying to get Figma up and going, I'll just share my screen and then I can talk about the back end of Firestore. kind of related to going off of what Mira was talking about with the hardest part about it was the date situation, getting all the dates running and the dates working properly. And I know one of the biggest things that we tackled was like if you're adding an item that day and purchasing that day, because of the way that the calculation is set up, it makes for a bit of confusion because it starts to calculate it really quickly. So it was definitely something that to keep in mind, I think, as we look at like building the app out further or look at expanding it. Oh, did you get up and going there? I thought I saw it.
I was sharing my screen to show Figma.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, go for it.
Okay, where is my Figma? Hold on. 1 second. Share screen. Here you go. Patrick?
Okay. Can you go to the like mood board we did? Yeah. So we started off with like just some ideas brainstorming. We knew we wanted it to look like one of the apps that we shared an image of. We used a website to find like a good color palette for accessibility. We didn't like stick fully to it, but we used this green color and for dark mode, like a dark gray. At the top, we added a bunch of notes and issues that we would need to work on in the last 2 weeks. So that's how we kind of like set up everything. And then in the final design, we didn't stick fully to this design, but it was a really good like foundation for something to build off of when we started to actually style it. So we incorporated that green color and we tried to make it like a minimalist, more kind of professional, maybe because it was for teachers. So nothing too, like crazy. But the design encompasses like every page, mobile and responsive. We ended up not going with the grid with the urgencies, but that's something we could do. I just didn't want to like mess with the styling that was already there. So but yeah, you have your list group component that we tried to match, and yeah.
Very nice. You all have been kind of hinting at things you would want to do further, if you do develop more. Can you talk to some of those, like if there are features that you wanted to add, or like what you would do if you were to continue with this project?
I think the big one would be implementing a user interface where people can specify quantity, especially if we are targeting it towards like community food programs. If you're trying to run a soup kitchen, your quantity is going to be massive. So you're going to be talking like kilograms of potatoes or whatever. So having that option there would be a really amazing functional piece. I also was really hoping that I could come up with like a great name for it. And it is so hard. Oh my God. Marketing people do not get paid the like amount they get for nothing. The best one I could come up with was Stockmate. So yeah, a nice name would be good. Good slogan.
Nice. Looks really great. I mean, yeah, it's like you were saying, it's really clean and minimalist. But yeah, I mean, all the functionality's there. It all works. It's like, like really nice. Like I said in the chat, that illustration on that homepage is like, that's very much kind of the trend right now for websites. We're about to actually do a redesign of the Collab Lab website that's kind of a similar style. So way to intuit that. But also just like, I really love the way you all work together, and just like you're all, kind of leaning on each other even for the demo, so it's really apparent to me just the way you kind of come together as a team, and just yeah, it's really, really fun to see. So great work.
Yeah, I'm super impressed with your first year dedication. Like we have a couple people joining from different places or like from the car. Like, some of you have been traveling for 3 days and still are here. Like your dedication and then also your teamwork has been consistent throughout and is apparent today as well. And yeah, your project is amazing. I saw a couple notes in the designs about accessibility as well. Like about when you were choosing fonts and things. Like, do you all want to talk a little bit about some of the accessibility considerations that you made? I know Nuria talked a little bit about that it was designed with accessibility in mind, but do you want to highlight some of the work that you did to make your app accessible?
I can touch on it. So the first thing that we did was we wanted to make sure that our color scheme was at the like minimum contrast level. And then the other big piece was the font. So we looked into just from my background, I know that Comic Sans and Family is like the most accessible font for people with neurodivergency. So we wanted to make sure that our font fell within that family, so that it was like easily readable for people who do have various different neurodivergencies. And then our font color, our color scheme. And then as we built the project too, everyone can speak to the fact that we made sure that we were using like specific semantic HTML tags, and going through like on the back end piece, making sure that that would be accessible to screen readers and people who use alternate ways of accessing the information. But it felt like a really important piece in general always, but especially if the target audience is going to be people that are setting up community food programs, there's going to be people there that are there because of various different disabilities.
Yeah, we added like on top of what Caitlin said, make sure the HTML tags and added area labels for buttons, for inputs. So when the screen readers will see, at least it will be helpful.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And you all have been doing, we only did our accessibility learning module last week, but all along you all have clearly been, like Caitlin said, kind of prioritizing starting with semantic HTML as the basis is the most important thing you can do in terms of accessibility. And you've been doing that all along. So that's really wonderful. Okay. I guess we can move into our next section then, unless there was anything else, any other questions y'all had, Volhar, Andrew, or.
Well, I'll be dropping, but let you do your retro. But great work, everybody. So glad to have gotten to kind of like meet all of you, and see your work a little bit. I know I think I said this the last time I was on your call, but let's make sure we're connected. So when you're going for the job interviews and all those kinds of things, I can maybe serve as a reference or introduce you to people and that kind of thing. So great work these last 8 weeks. Love the dedication. I think we're going to see all of you in Career Lab. Is that right? Okay, great, cool. Well, then it's not not goodbye for very long. I'll see you probably tomorrow at the kickoff for that. So great work though. Yeah, like really, really nice job. We'll see you later.
Thanks for joining, Andrew.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye.
for sure.
Bye.
See ya.
Okay. Fantastic job with your demos, y'all. We are going to move into retro unless there's anything else y'all wanted to talk about first. I'm still blown away by your app. It's just like so beautiful, so polished. That presentation was amazing. All right, so we're going to jump into retro. Let me get the link to share with y'all. This will be very similar to what we've done before, although we have a different final column than usual. Instead of like action items, we're just going to be talking about like what's next for you moving forward. And I just put the link in the chat. Let me share my screen for a second so we can actually, yeah, if I can find my share screen. And we'll do the same thing as usual where I will start a timer and we'll have some time to fill out this retro board. You can turn off your cameras if you like while we're doing that and just get started. I'm sharing my screen and let me pause it so I can fill this in and you don't have to watch me. And actually, no. Let me pause the recording. Oh my goodness, there's so many buttons and I don't know which one I need. Okay, actually I need to stop sharing. Sorry, y'all. Okay, pause. Okay, we are recording. Great, so I'm seeing some great notes here on our retro board. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Oh, Nuria, the game is starting. All right, so we'll start with our kudos. Everyone should be able to see my screen now. Let me know if you can't. So starting with Nuria, you had a note here.
Hi guys, I'm in a very noisy place, loud, and I want to say well, kudos to our app. It's live, it's working, and accessible to everyone. Thank you.
Yay! That is a huge win. Let's see, this is from Caitlin.
Oh yeah, I just said thank you to all of the teammates who had to carry the team a little bit this week while I was off traveling and switching time zones. But it was really great. I think because we had all worked so well together for the last 7 weeks and we built up like a good team community collaborative rapport, then it meant that I knew that everyone had each other's backs, and so it was a really good team vibe to work in.
That's so good. Yeah, a community of trust, like a culture of trust is really, really important and good to have. Let's see, this one's Mira.
I would like to echo what Caitlin said, and big thanks to all the mentors for helping us and jumping in so fast when we had issues. And thanks to my teammates too. It was really wonderful to work with them. We had each other's backs.
Yay, love all the love we're seeing here. Okay, this one is also from Caitlin.
Oh yeah, huge shout out to you and Volha and George, because you were so foundational from everything from just like random chats in office hours to like figuring out last minute after like 100 hours of hair pulling how to fix something to like just subtle suggestions of being like, oh, this might be a cool idea or this might be a cool idea. So it definitely would not be what it is today without all of y'all.
Aw, yeah, we are happy to help and super proud of all the work you all have done. Okay, this is me. Yeah, I think y'all have been an amazing team. To echo what you all have been saying yourselves, like I think you've been very supportive of each other, and that really helps you all to know you can trust each other and lean on each other. And you've also been really hardworking and dedicated, as evidenced, for example, by Nuria being here while at her son's hockey tournament. Very dedicated, and you all are amazing and will make amazing additions to anyone's team. All right, let's see. This is from Volha.
Yes, so kudos to you guys for your communication, dedication, your forward thinking, and just the team culture. I'm a true believer that team culture outweighs, everything, because you can lean in on each other, and together the diversity of thoughts, diversity of experiences, it helps to build a better product. So kudos to you, and I'm very impressed with your results.
Totally agree. Wonderful. This is from Pat.
Just a shout out to Nuria for the slides. That was kind of a surprise. So
Yeah, that was a nice touch, a really professional touch. Love it. And also, I didn't put this, but kudos to you all for having, I didn't realize Andrew said this is the first time in TCL history that we've had like such a specific user group. Like, I think that all really builds like the professional vibe of your app, and it makes it feel very apparent like what the use case is and like why this is a useful app to have. So very, very awesome job on that. Making history. All right, let's see. What went well? This is from Nuria. She can hear. I know I will read it for Nuria in case it's too loud where she is. So she just said great team collaboration. I think that's echoing what everyone's been saying. And it bears to be repeated. The collaboration on this team has been amazing. This one is from Volha.
Yes, I really loved how team got together and overcame the challenges, and figured out all the bugs, were able to work on the issues in different time zones and staying late or waking up early. And I just really, really love that. And in the end, it all built up to the final product. So that was awesome.
Awesome. This is from me. Yeah, the demo was amazing. Like y'all said, like having the slides was a really nice touch. I think, you all did a good job of dividing up this huge project into pieces that you were able to demo and show all the work that went into this project. And just kind of, I would have expected nothing less, but you all were able to support each other when there were technical difficulties. It really showed what a great team you were. Couldn't have gone better if you planned it that way. So very nice job with the demos. And this one's from Volha.
Yeah, it's kind of echoing on this point for the demo. I really love that you had the slides. I really love that you touched on all aspects, starting from the use case and coming up with your designs and the backend and the real live demo. So great job.
Lovely. This is from Mira.
Again, I want to just thank all my teammates this week, especially because I was not able to contribute as much as I wanted with health issues. So they were like, I could lean on them, and they did a great job on picking up the slack.
Love it. Okay, this is from Caitlin.
Yeah, it just like amazed. I don't know, I was amazed, but it was just awesome to work with such a like great team, where everyone had knowledge, and there were so many like spots and places where like something new would come up, and the number of like creative ideas of being like, well, let's try this, and I was like, wow, I would have never thought of that, or like yeah, so it was nice to have such a variety of experiences and knowledge that all kind of complemented each other.
That's fantastic. Yeah, being able to learn from each other is such a huge part of this experience. Okay, and this is from Pat.
I think this is like the same as just like collaboration and stuff, but I think everything went pretty smoothly over the last 8 weeks, and there was nothing like too disastrous, or I think we all worked well together, and I enjoyed it.
Yay, it's been a joy to watch you all working together. Totally agree. Okay, we have a couple of notes in our what could be improved column. This one Caitlin kind of mentioned, but yeah, go ahead.
I just feel like an app this great deserves the best name.
And I think a good name takes some time, so I think it's okay we didn't have it for today. You can let it simmer and think of something that you love.
I spent a like disproportionately inappropriate amount of time on the thesaurus, being like thesaurus for inventory, like something was like, I was like, man, this is hard.
It's so hard. I spent some time trying to think of ideas to suggest to y'all, and I couldn't think of anything. So it's really hard. I mean, naming things, the joke is that naming things is the hardest part of engineering. Like coming up with good variable names is always impossible, like much less an app name. That's
Yeah.
going to take you a year.
I even like Googled like other shopping list apps and looked at some of their names, and I was like, man, these are all trash. Like,
And now you know
this makes me
why.
feel better. The only fun one I found, it was just called Out of Milk. And I was like, I honestly, there's something about that I love.
I do love that. That's amusing. Nice. All right. The other note I had here is just that if y'all continue working on the project, I don't know if you already did this, you might have, and I just didn't know, but I'd recommend doing one of those accessibility audits like Volha demoed last week, just to make sure. Sometimes that's how I caught there was one ARIA label that was missing, but just making sure that, like if you every accessibility audit also will give you different results. So I usually test mine under like 3 different ones, and each one gives me different results. So you can never do too many accessibility audits because different people using different assistive technologies will see different issues. So it's always a good practice to test your app using some of those tools. And those are linked in our resources.md file. You can find some of those tools if you don't already have them. But yeah, I mean, I loved that accessibility was such a big part of your app. And so just making sure that like you've got, I don't know if you're familiar with Lighthouse reports, but getting at 100 is just such a good feeling. So like I didn't run a Lighthouse report on your app, but if you're able to get 100 on accessibility, that would be super cool. So that's a good goal to have. Okay. And our last column, what's next for you? I think mine is the first one. I'll be mentoring with the Career Lab starting tomorrow, so I'll see some of you there. I'm really happy that all of the Collabies are participating in that. That's awesome. And I'll be hoping to mentor next year at some point if I'm needed. And otherwise, I've made this offer, but just want to throw out there if anyone would like a coffee chat at any time or wants help with job hunting post Career Lab, if you have follow-up questions, like feel free to Slack me. I'm always happy to do that kind of thing. So, once a Collabie, always a Collabie. I'm still like, we're ending this portion, but we're still here for you if y'all need us. All right, the next one is Pat. What's next for you?
I'm just gonna focus on my position with the Lakers and learn from that, and hopefully go on to bigger and better things.
Love it. Yeah, it's been awesome that you've been continuing to be dedicated to this project while also starting your position with the Lakers. As an observer, I couldn't even tell that your availability changed at the beginning of this project. You've been here very consistently, and we've very much appreciated it. All right, this is from Volha.
Yeah, so to build up on what Caitlin said, I'm also available for you. So if you want to mock interview, or if you want resume review or recommendation or anything at all, just to chat, I'm also here for you. And it was my first time volunteering outside of university, right? And I'll be continuing doing that. It's a very satisfying experience for me.
Love that. Yeah, the note about recommendations reminds me that as you all are heading into Career Lab, I would definitely recommend giving each other recommendations on LinkedIn. Like while everything is fresh in your mind of what this person brings to the table, having some recommendations can really be helpful, and will give you a leg up in terms of your LinkedIn. And I'll try and do the same thing as well. But yeah, Volha, I love that this is your first foray into volunteering post university, and that it's that you're going to continue with it. That's awesome. All right, this is from Caitlin.
Oh yeah, I just said that I'm open for more new and exciting and interesting opportunities to continue to learn and try and give back. Similar to what Volha says, give back to the world, make tech a little bit more accessibility friendly.
Love it.
I'm sure nothing will ever come close to how amazing this was, but I will always be in a quest for this.
Love it. Yes, this is a pretty you've been pretty spoiled, gotta say. But I love that we're sending you folks out into the tech world. make tech more like this. I know Mira and Nuria didn't have cards on here, but do you want to talk at all about what's next for you, where you are in your journey into tech?
Yes, sorry, I couldn't enter. I'm on my phone, had to move inside, drop my
That's okay.
laptop in the car. My next step will be continuous improving my skills and looking to enter like IT with my first job. I hope I'll find it soon. And of course, like future ahead, I would like to be like you guys, my role model mentor. I would like to participate in maybe Collab in a couple of years later as a mentor as well. Really appreciate your help and you guys inspiring.
Absolutely. Yeah, Volha and I both were Collabis in the past. So, like, we love having Collabis come back to be mentors. So highly recommend. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Nuria. Mira, do you want to talk at all about what's next for you?
Yeah, I'll be looking for new opportunities as well. My first job in tech, hopefully pretty soon. So I would like to thank all your mentors in the Collab Lab for giving me an opportunity to learn and grow.
Awesome. So happy to hear that. Yeah, and I think I've mentioned this to you all, but just to make sure that it's explicitly said, like this project, technically our 8 weeks are over, but you all still own this project. If you would like to continue working on it to make some of those improvements you were talking about, if you think of a good name, like you're always welcome to come back in and continue working on it if you so choose. It's your project, so feel free to do that. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. Okay, so yeah, this brings us to the end of our final sync. Is there anything else that we overlooked? Anything that y'all wanted to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I know you all are continuing on to Career Lab, which I am very happy that you all are doing. It's a really, really useful opportunity. I learned a lot through the Career Lab about job hunting and everything. So yeah, I'll see you there. I know George is also volunteering, so you might see him at some of those calls, or you might get paired with him as well. So yeah, all right. Amazing work, y'all. Super excited to see what you all get up to next. And I'll see you around the Slack. I will be lurking on your LinkedIn's, leaving some recommendations. But yeah, Nuria, you'll have to let us know how the tournament goes. And yeah, I guess that's it. I feel so sad that we're we're done with our 8 weeks. All right, everyone, enjoy your weekend, and I might see you tomorrow on the Career Lab call. But yeah, good job, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Really enjoyed it. Bye.
All right.
Bye.